Hi, Leah. That is a great question. And I do think that this idea can be applied to older kids. But I should add a caveat in before we start talking about how it can be applied. Because as our children get older, it's really important that we are giving them autonomy and as much control over their education as is possible and as they will take. So when they're young, the burden really is on us to try to make sure that their education is fun and enjoyable. We want learning to be fun. It improves motivation and just makes learning so much easier, which is easier on them and easier on us. As our kids get older, we should be slowly handing off more of the decision making to them. Our kids' education should be focused on their goals, their interests, the things that they care about. Now, I know that's easier said than done if you have a reticent learner who's like, I don't care about my education at all and I don't want to learn anything. But oftentimes I've seen that with older learners, the reason why they are reticent learners is because they see learning as boring or a chore or something they don't want to do. Now, as you're finding that balance between making sure that they get a good quality education that they'll need to move forward in their life and letting them have more autonomy and control, then you can set up some things within your schedule to make this a little bit easier for you. So in our household, our kids don't really get their electronics or get to go do any of the activities that they want to do with their friends, hang out, do any of that kind of stuff until they've taken care of their responsibilities. That can be schoolwork, that can be chores, but the idea is you do the hard things or the things that you don't necessarily want to do, and then you get to go do the fun things. I think that just prepares them for life, because isn't that mostly what it's like as an adult? Now, my kids, as they get older, will get more and more control of their education so that I don't have to necessarily enforce that rule anymore. But it is this balance and blend of them being more responsible, me giving more autonomy, them being even more responsible, me giving all the autonomy once they are showing that they are actually prioritizing their future and learning the things they need to learn. I like them to have a plan. I like to know what they're doing. I kind of oversee that and make sure that they are learning and growing as people and not just spending all day rotting their brains on their electronics. But really, once your kids get older, this becomes a culture of the household and the expectations of the household, not necessarily a homeschooling issue. And if you like that idea and that's something you want to start with older kids, I would start a little bit slower. I would work them into it. I would make sure that when they are showing any responsibility that I really reward that. I notice it, and the reward doesn't have to be tangible. It can be as simple as like, hey, I saw you got your schoolwork done without me asking. Like, awesome, thank you so much. But we want to make sure that we're really rewarding responsibility and holding boundaries and ensuring that our kids learn these skills they need to learn and get that quality education. So it's a balancing act. So start slow, work towards it. But as my kids get older, I find that they're not necessarily reticent learners because they have so much more control over their education. So I hope that helps. And if you try this new schedule where the kids don't get anything that is high dopamine before they get their responsibilities done, let me know how it goes.